example, I think Valorant, like what Valorant came out in 2018, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, Valorant came out in 2018, and CS:GO came out in 2012. I think.
Yeah. Now, there's a Quake game that came out recently, but it had more MOBA stuff on it, and characters had different amounts of HP, so it wasn't
Yeah. Hey, listen, I have no problem going with the facts or the information. I just need to know what the information is. And, you know, it's like, I appreciate when you tell me that, because it's like, okay, I understand now. It's like, it's different than you just being like, Jordan, this is how it was. And it's like, but why was it like that? Is it because this was good game design? Is it because, like, this was better? Is it fair? Like, you know, those things help the conversation go forward instead of just going in the circle of, like, oh, man, this is this and this is that. Like...
Yeah, but that's the thing, Jordan. It's like you're arguing against the facts when we're telling you how it is.
Well, no, like, I'm trying to have a discussion, and you guys are just trying to tell me how it is. That's different.
Well,
it's
I guess where we're differing here is
I'm not just trying to argue.
If you're asking a question, that's one thing, but you made a patently false statement, and that's, I think, where I took issue.
It's like this, Jordan. It's like if you tell me that if you jump you'll hit the moon. It's like, no, because gravity exists. So I'm telling you a fact. Like, it is what it is. It's not changing. Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it.
And that would be, and I would probably respond differently using Nathan's example to if you had asked, can you jump to the moon? Well, I would say, well, no, because this. Versus you saying, no, you can jump to the moon. No, bro, you can't. Like, what are you talking about? You know, that's sort of, I think, why the conversation went the direction it did. Is you made a statement that, you know, Valorant was closer to arena shooters than to CS:GO, and I'm like,
I said in basic. I simply said basic. I didn't say shooting mechanics or anything. All I said.
Well, I mean, the pacing's nowhere close. The shooting mechanics are nowhere close. Nothing about it is. The only thing that Valorant has in common with arena shooters is the first-person camera and the fact that you are holding a gun.
Wait, the stronghold is broken? I just finished it, and it didn't change to a town.
So, with that, so you believing that, do you believe that a person... Do you believe a person that plays an arena shooter game, like you being an arena shooter player yourself, like you identify mostly as an arena shooter player, more than a CS:GO player, do you think as an arena shooter player, it is easier for you to play Valorant, Overwatch, or CS:GO, like in that vacuum?
If you're giving me those three, I would say Overwatch, because Overwatch does not have a movement penalty for shooting, but they're all slow. They're all slow, they're all objective-based, they're all team-based. Arena shooter is, you know, 2 may enter, 1 may leave. It's 1 versus 1. At a competitive level, it's 1 versus 1, just duel to the death. You know?
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. So, there are no objectives.
But, I mean, well, that's a good thing for me to know, too, is, like, I knew that, like, at the tournament level, you guys usually played at 1v1, but I didn't know if that was the only way you played, because, like, you know, in CS:GO, for example...
There are other game modes. There is capture the flag and such.
Are those competitive or no? Because, like, in Call of Duty, I know that they have, like, 1v1s and, you know, multiples, but they also have, like, competitive capture the flag and stuff. Like, were those things competitive in Quake and Unreal?
Flag or any other objective-based mode in an arena shooter has never been done to a tournament level.
Okay. Is that because they weren't popular, or just because they're not good?
It's unbalanced.
Yeah.
The
time
to
go is typically...
What makes, like, in a game that you say has very fair shooting and movement, like, what makes it unbalanced? Because, that's not clicking for me.
There's more than just moving and shooting. There's armors and buffs, health buffs and stuff like that.
So
Like, let's take Valorant and CS:GO as an example. In Valorant and in CS:GO, you can't heal. You take damage. I mean, there is a healer ability, sort of, but overall, like, you have to. As soon as you die, you are done for that round.
Yeah.
In an arena shooter, you know, if I make a stupid mistake and take a bunch of damage but don't die, I can fall back, get health, get armor, and come back to it. The time to kill is not very fast because it's balanced for 1 versus 1. So when you're dealing with, you know, imagine 5 versus 5 capture the flag, but everybody's a bunch of tanks. Unless
I understand what you're saying. So the core gameplay mechanics of how it's balanced is why capture the flag isn't good.
I wouldn't say it's not good. I would say it wasn't.
Or why it's not competitive.
Right.
Gotcha.
And also, you can just have one guy that just kills everybody.
That's true.
Because you have a series of 1v1 matches. You just have 5 1v1 matches.
So a typical mechanic of first-person shooters is a headshot doing double damage. The sniper rifle in Unreal Tournament 2004 is called the lightning gun. I think there's like a sniper rifle alternate thing for it as well, but it does 75 damage. It's a hit scan weapon. You don't even have to aim down scope. It's just 75 damage. If you hit somebody in the head, it's on the head.
So does like, you know, other games, like I could think of like other games that are balanced around 1v1, like great example that I have like 1v1 balancing is like when it comes to MMOs, the only MMO that's ever been balanced for 1v1 gameplay is Blade and Soul, and it's also why it was the only game ever played.
Guild Wars 1.
MMO that was only.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Guild Wars 1
as well.
Well, Blade and Soul was the only MMO ever played at the World Cyber Games because it was balanced for 1v1.
Well, yeah, that's because a lot of that stuff didn't exist around. Guild Wars 1 was probably the most...
I mean, Guild Wars 1 was in the same time frame, though, as that game.
No, it wasn't.
Let me see.
Blade and Souls came out. I was streaming. I made videos of it.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Blade and Soul was 2012. Yeah, not even.
Yeah, Guild Wars 1 is like from freaking 19 something.
Okay, well, World of Warcraft wasn't there either, but yeah. Wait, the Blade... Wait. No. Oh, the KR launch is 2012. Okay, got it.
Oh, what? Really? 2005? Oh, yeah.
Well, it says KOR 2012, so I'm guessing that's... yeah.
Yeah, April 28th, 2005 was its release. Yeah, so yeah, Guild Wars is much.
Okay, yeah. But what's called? So yeah, but that surprises me then, yeah, because Guild Wars was never played there.
That's because WCG didn't exist. I don't think.
No, they got rid of WCG a while ago. I thought there's only a couple games that are played at WCG now.
Yeah, Guild Wars 1 was dead by the time that stuff was invented.
Yeah. Man, WCG is older than I thought. Let's see.
No, it's really old. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, they never offered any MMOs. It's like until never.
Yeah.
In 2005, which would have been when that game came out, it was Counter-Strike Source, Dead or Alive Ultimate, FIFA Football 2005, Halo 2, Need for Speed Underground 2. That's a weird game. StarCraft Brood War, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, Warhammer 40k Dawn.
Yeah. At the very first World Cyber Games.
Yeah, in 2006 they had Quake 4.
They had Quake 3 Arena at the very first World Cyber Games in 2000.
Yeah. And they had the OG Unreal Tournament. I should have gone to that out of one. Oh, it's in South Korea. Never mind.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah.
Well, Unreal Tournament 2000.
That's probably why Guild Wars wasn't there either.
Yeah. It was in San Francisco, California.
So I wonder what happened with the World Cyber Games that they stopped for 7 years. For 6 years.
They probably didn't make any money. Oh no, they still exist. Well, they existed up until 2020, so maybe COVID killed them.
There's it says like there was World Cyber Games in 2013, and then they didn't do one again until 2019.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Well, also look at the games like League of Legends and Warcraft 3. Oh no, there's some. Yeah, they've got like.
Well, you want to know? Yeah, actually,
No,
now that you think about it, I
first one I
bet
thought
you.
was World of Tanks. I'm like, the fuck.
Yeah, I bet you it's because like all these companies started doing their own tournaments and stuff too, and there was other community tournaments. Like, you know, if I'm correct, the World Cyber Games existed because they wanted to bring the world together with gaming, right?
But they compete in Cyber Athlete amateur league. I'm wondering if that stuff existed. Apparently, that's on the internet Wayback Machine now. So.
But dude, I love the way back machine. I love going on the way back machine and looking at like all that shit. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually.
CPL looks like it. CPL acquired them in 2009, and I played Unreal Tournament 3 in CAL, so that would have been 07 or 08 probably. So yeah. Oh man, there's so many names here that I actually.
Yeah, I was actually gonna check to see who played in the very first Unreal tournament at the WCG.
Yeah, Johan Toxic Quick. I played against him in Quake 4. I played against Fatality in Quake 4. Like all these people, like I know all these people. Is a Fnatic Quick in there?
Holy shit! Yo, they have the videos from. Dude, they have the Quake 3 videos from WCG 2000 still.
If they've got videos from QuakeCon in 2005 and 2006, please don't look at those because you might actually see Fatality whooping my ass.
Oh shit, dude! What's called? Do you like what's called? When was it? Wait, was it back then, or I'm trying to think. What was the tournament that you played in where you got to play for the car but you didn't win?
Oh shit! Which one was that?
It was like a $50,000 car, but you didn't win it.
Was that the one where Fatality beat me? No, I don't think. It might have been.
Jordan, I'm not gonna lie, these dungeons are so boring.
No, the dungeons need a lot of work. They definitely
Good
do.
lord.
That I think is the biggest worry about the game right now, I'd say personally, because it's like, we don't know if dungeons are the end-game content, but if dungeons are the end-game content, they need a lot of work.
Oh, they're so boring. This is really just not fun.
Supposed to be like, what were they called in Diablo?
The greater rifts.
Are they like GRs or not? Well,
no. We know that there is other content at higher level and different difficulties, so we know that there's other content in conjunction with dungeons, but we've only gotten to play dungeons so far.
Right, and that's kind of one of my things that I keep thinking, like, we don't change stuff like this, like, we don't actually know what the endgame content looks like, or if there even is any.
Well, that's not true. We do know that there is, and we could see what some of that content is by looking at the world tier statue. You could see what content is available on higher difficulties. And
although if the endgame content is GRs, then you know we already did that.
Yeah.
Well, no, GRs are fine. Like GRs are great. But if it's dungeons, it's gonna suck because they're not procedurally generated at all.
Oh, at least in their current iteration. What we see right now on the world for the difficulties.
What are we in? We're almost in April. April, May, June. I doubt they're gonna procedurally generate these things in 3 months.
I don't think can procedurally generate content with this level of detail.
Well, you can.
So, well, remember, you're only basing it off of current dungeons and not the other dungeon content that we know of. Like, gear in games, I'm linking you, like, so you can read it yourself, like, what it says about the different difficulties. So it's adding more content in these difficulties that is different from the current content.
Well, I'm talking about the layout, Jordan.
Well, yeah, but, like, there is normal dungeons in Diablo IV, but then there's the dungeons that are in GRs that are procedurally generated. We don't know if this new content is or is not procedurally generated.
Yeah, but even the normal dungeons in D3 are procedurally generated to a certain degree. They have seeds.
Explain, because I'm. Can you explain that further? Because like,
so you can play
the layout changes.
Yeah, there's a couple of different map seeds for each.
In this, like,
for some dungeons that's true, but not all. Like a great example of that is if you're going into the Oryx Manor and then you go into the Skeleton King's, like his area. That map is the same every time.
That's not a dungeon.
That are, but mostly.
Wait, that is a dungeon. You're fighting through that dungeon to get to the
skeleton. But the bulk of the content is procedurally generated.
Everything no. It's the same yeah. You're talking about that. That's just one map though, and that's not technically a dungeon.
So wait, then what are you considering a dungeon? Because I don't understand that.
Any delve. Like anything that doesn't have to do with the story.
Like story-specific stuff being kind of static, I understand, but like.
Because the story dungeons in this are exactly the same. They're every time you go into them, they're exactly the same. It's the same in this.
You're on one of the bigger open maps in Diablo 3, and you jump into one of the random caves.
But okay, so wait a second. Explain this to me. So. On the map right now, like, if I just scroll over any random dungeon, like Immortal and Medication, Neuromancer, I scroll over that. Are you saying this is not a story dungeon and it's part of the map, or are you, like, what are you considering a story dungeon?
Is it part of the story?
Some dungeons are, some dungeons aren't.
Yeah, so the ones that are exactly the same every time you go in them. I'm not talking about a quest. I'm talking about the story, the main story, the yellow ones.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay,
yeah.
So with that being said, we haven't seen any dungeons. We haven't seen any dungeons that are different, other than what is on this current map.
That's what I'm saying. There's no procedural generation. So like, if you boot up D3 right now, and you go into the Oasis. And you find that random worm guy that spawns, and you go inside. Every single time you go inside there, it's different.
And the concern there is a replayability issue. If the
yeah,
maps don't
I don't disagree with that. But I don't disagree with that. Maybe on a mob level, perhaps. But
I'm talking about layout, just layout.
So layout, well, I think there's different levels of procedural generation, because an example I could give is that in the northwest here, there is where is it? Mercy's Reach. I've ran Mercy's Reach multiple times. When I was running Mercy's Reach, the layout of the map, it was the same map every time. But when I went into the map, mobs spawned in different areas. Different mobs that spawned.
I was talking about just layout. Just layout.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if we're just talking about the layout, then the map itself doesn't change.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The map do. Okay, but things within the map do change. So you're only worried about map layout in static dungeons currently, or overall?
Just everything.
Overall, because like we haven't seen a capability of randomly generating a layout within this game, which means more than likely the end game content can't be procedurally generated either. that procedural generation has been a staple of Diablo 1, 2, and 3.